We'll start with the Seahawks. All the rookies, some of the younger developing players are at the VMAC for a two-day camp. The Seahawks introduced their top pick, Jadarian Price, to the media yesterday, Chris, and choosing a different number, going with the single-digit number 8 as he takes Kobe Bryant's old number.
Yeah, it's a new chapter in his life. He wanted to have a new number, and Paul, I know you were busy at Seahawks. We're going to get to that in a second. I want to give one more shout-out, by the way, Paul. The folks at Ralph's Oil. I got there to get an oil.
What do you got, endorsement deals?
No, I got no endorsement deals. All I got to say is I got there yesterday. They got the King 5 Plus app going. They're watching the show. They're having a ball. It was so much fun sitting down and watching the show. I know you were busy actually working at the Seahawks yesterday, but big shout out. It's been 10 days now on the show. We got a lot of people downloading the app and watching for free. So a big thank you to everybody out there supporting the show. All right, I had to get that in, Paul.
Get that discount for you.
No discount. I paid full price, Paul.
All right. Let's talk about Jadarian Price. A lot of people saying a lot of good things about him. Former Seahawks director of college scouting, Scott McLuhan, tells The Athletic Price is going to be a better player than Love. Jeremiah Love, the top back at Notre Dame over the past season. I think he's Nick Chubb, McLuhan says, who he took in Cleveland and who was really, really good until he blew out his knee. So some high praise from Scott McLuhan. And, this is a guy who has all the NFL tools, Chris. He's got a great toolbox. This guy's ready to go. And we had a chance to go one-on-one with Price yesterday at the VMAC.
It's pretty nice, and I'm so glad to be here. And so far, I've met some amazing people, all nice people, and just people that love football, and we're ready to go.
Yeah, it feels like I was interested in your press conference where some players reached out to you. Can you tell me a little bit more about that and what it meant to you?
Yeah, it meant a lot. Guys like Cooper Kupp, Zach Charbonnet. We actually have the same agent, but just the fact that those guys are willing to reach out, ask if I have any questions or, supporting me along the way. That truly means a lot, especially for guys who worked their tails off to win a Super Bowl. And, they're going into the offseason accepting their new rookies and new players to get the next winning culture, next winning season on board. So.
Yeah. What are you looking forward to most as you get into this rookie camp?
Playing football again, competing. That's what I'm looking forward to the most. I haven't really, you can say the combine was competition, pro day was competition, but football-wise, I haven't competed in so long. It's been a couple months, so I'm ready to get back out on the field and run the ball.
Yeah, I would imagine being out here and looking at the field and the facilities here, you probably can't wait to put that helmet on. What will it be like when you put that Seahawks helmet on for the first time?
Well, hopefully my helmet fits pretty snug, but I love the colors, man. I always have, so I'm excited to wear it. One of my cousins is a diehard Seahawks fan, so you can imagine the smile on his face when I got drafted. So yeah.
You got the running back room, some veterans in there. How does it help to have guys like that you're going into a room like that?
I think it helps a lot, and from my experience at Notre Dame, walking into a room with vets like that. That really took me under their wing and showed me the ways that has helped in college, and I'm sure it'll help the same in the NFL. And guys they were successful last year. You saw how they ran the ball, top 5 in the country. So just being able to be a part of that room and make it even better is a blessing.
Yeah, I was listening to Jeremiah Love talk about you, and he went on for at least 2 minutes talking about your ability, saying your feet are faster than his, your cut is faster than his, and he said, just a lot of nice things to say about you, and I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's my guy. I hope he wouldn't say bad stuff about me, but J Love, man, just getting to know him the past 3 years, like the guy off the field, like he's authentically himself, and he just goes out there and has fun. Like you can't tell him. Like that year Saquon did the reverse turtle. Yep. He went out there the next week and was practicing it on our scout guys. Like he was like, I'm gonna do this in game. Watch me. He didn't, because our head coach literally had to tell him, don't do that. But he's the type of guy who's you can't tell him no. Like he'll go out there and he'll do things on the field, and he's just a playmaker, man.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
One thing Love said about you is that you break tackles better than he does, and that's one of your one of your attributes is that you're great after contact. And what is the key to running through contact?
Starts in the weight room.
Yeah.
Yeah. Starts on the squat rack and power clean, lunges, all the little things that aren't too fun. But you really got to hit them hard in the weight room. I think that's what really separates yourself.
Yeah. I thought it was interesting. You said you'd rather run through a guy than run around him.
Yeah. Instinct-wise, sometimes my instincts might take me around someone just because if my speed's going to take me around, then I might as well use my speed. But it's football, man. Running through somebody's fine.
There he is, the number 1 pick going a one-on-one with the man next to me right here, Paul Silvi. And Paul, I want to get into the weight room stuff in a sec, but I believe so importantly on first impressions. Obviously, this young man made a great first impression on Seahawks scouts, on John Schneider, on Mike McDonald. But there you are yesterday going one-on-one with him outside on the practice field. Just kind of initial first impressions that you got with Jadarian there.
Well, number one, he's humble. He comes from a great background. We know about his mother and her battle for against cancer, and the fact that she overcame cancer, the fact that when he was 12 years old, he took care of his younger sisters. He cooked, he cleaned, he did everything he could, and he uses his mom as motivation for himself because the fact that if she could beat cancer, he certainly can achieve anything he wants to achieve in life, and this is his next big step. And I think a lot of people use the word class when it comes to Jadarian Price. Good kid, great background, and very anxious to start his NFL career. And you can see he's wearing number 8. He said that he wanted to take a single digit, hasn't worn a single digit in a long time, but it's representing a nice new chapter for him in his football career. So he's looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Go ahead, man.
No, great young man. I think we also can't forget the fact that this is a young man that could have left Notre Dame very easily and been a starter in pretty much 95% of the college football programs out there. But he said it was all about building relationships, keeping those relationships at Notre Dame. That's one reason why he wanted to stay there. A lot of us live in jobs, so I'm not going to get into the weeds, Paul. There's been many years I could have left you, buddy. But I stayed here because I wanted to build relationships, and then now we have this show together. I love the fact Denison, Texas, the mayor of that, and that's where he's from. January 20th is going to be Jadarian Price Day, so kind of a cool story there. Obviously, he is loved by his hometown, but Paul, looking at these pictures, are you kidding me? I mean, look at those arms. I mean, this is like old school Arnold Schwarzenegger.
You're not going to man crush on this guy,
no, I'm not going to go that way. But this is Arnold Schwarzenegger, Carl Weathers, and Predator. I mean, these things are ripped, Paul. 21 reps, 225 on the bench, 5'11", 203. I know you geek out when it comes to weightlifting. Looking at this young man, I mean, how impressive is it what he's doing in the weight room?
First of all, I'm not the guy geeking out right now about this guy's frame, but that's a good point, man. I mean, all these guys, and we're going to talk to Bud Clark in the next segment, they bulk up when they get to this level, and you can see he's got an NFL body. He's ready to go. But yeah, I'm not going to get into this guy's workout routine.
I still remember, Paul, I think it was interviewing Patrick Kearney and had his shirt off. And my wife watched the interview, and she said, like, what are those things on his shoulders? And I go, those are muscles. I don't have those, honey. I'm sorry.
Listen, these guys are elite on the field and off the field. And as you said, as we listen to Price talk about, he likes to run through guys, not around them, and it starts in the weight room. They have to have that commitment in there. They're in there working out constantly, and then they got to go on the field and use what they're building in there, and that's the whole thing. He's like, he wants to run through guys. Football is fun when you're running through guys. Well, Price was joined by head coach Mike McDonald and GM John Schneider at his opening press conference, and Schneider loves everything about Price on and off the field.
Just a classy person, obviously was raised well. I actually felt bad for him during the process, kind of in the background watching all these Zoom calls and everything, like how many times he had to answer the question about why he stayed at Notre Dame, and the guy's like, I mean, there's 32 teams in the National Football League, and we asked him several times. I'm sure he had to answer it, with all the other clubs as well, and he just handled it just with ease, and God rest his soul. Ted Thompson would say this is a class act, like this is a classy pro right here, and that just really stood out throughout the spring.
We're hearing from John Schneider there, Paul, and I think when he talks about this is a class act, this is a classy pro, I go back to draft day. That morning we had Dave Wyman and Brock Hewitt on this show, and they talked about the Seahawks way and drafting players that fit into the Seahawks mold. Not necessarily the best player on the board, but somebody that fits into their mold, the Seahawks mold. And you think about John Schneider. This is a general manager that has now got the Seahawks into 3 Super Bowls. He has 2 titles under his belt. He's been praised and criticized for his draft picks over the years, Paul, but I think he's just learned from the past on the right guys to pick, the players that fit into the mold, and here we go. I mean, we're hearing this more. I think John Schneider's learned a lot, over the past decade on which guys to go after, and we'll see. The national critics giving the Seahawks a B, some B minus, some a B plus. But you know what? Like we keep hearing, we don't care. We're drafting Seattle Seahawks players, and part of that, besides being a great football player, Paul, is being a good human being, and they got one in Jadarian Price.
Yeah, when you look at the draft picks that John's responsible for, and some of these guys that this year, it's interesting because they kind of went with guys. We had Michael Sean Dugar of The Athletic on earlier this week, and basically the thought of guys that follow this team is that this team got better. They don't need to go out there and light the world on fire with these draft picks. The fact that these guys have, you saw the picks on the board there. We'll take another quick look at them. They went for need. They got their running back off the top. And then Bo Stevens, the 5th rounder out of Iowa, is a guy that, when you talk about a guy from the Big Ten on the offensive line who's played a lot of football, very experienced young man, because a lot of these guys, as you know, Chris, they get into that transfer portal. They don't spend a lot of time playing, and the guys that stay in their programs and get the experience that Bo has, they're optimistic about him. I love the fact that, some of these other guys they took, Devin Eastern, 7th rounder out of Minnesota, is kind of a mauler. But Emmanuel Henderson Jr. is a receiver out of Kansas. It's like they just took a guy because basically some of the thought was, you never see a team draft a gunner, but the fact that this guy's a gunner on special teams and has that speed and that hunger is they have the luxury of taking guys like that because when you look at the rest of their roster, a lot of their pieces are in place.
Yeah, and you mentioned the word special teams helped the Seahawks win some games this year down the stretch, Paul. And they have some players there, and Jadarian Price has been praised for his role on special teams. But if this is your starting running back for weeks 1, 2, 3, possibly 4, as we wait and see how Zach Charbonnet recovers, you can't be having him on special teams early on, Paul.